Hold on. I'll give you the go.
All right,
Maybe I'll do an actual intro for this one. All right, so we're ranking Peak today. Peak Fiction, the greatest games of all time. And we were in the I was in the middle of doing this. We're immediately starting off with just the correct opinion here.
I'd like to say I asked for that tier to be added.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. Is that how you call it?
Yes.
For the Nintendo Switch. And then you put
So specifically only Encore, not the Wii U version?
Oh, it's Encore. Sorry. Is it Sharp FE? Yeah, it's Sharp FE on Encore. There you
Correct.
Go. There you go. Okay, got it.
All right, perfect. Tier list done.
Yep. That's anyway. We'll just do this in whatever random order. I'm immediately starting with this. I don't care.
What is that, Rev?
That's 3
that's
hopes. That's 3 hopes. It's the greatest game in the series.
I
don't
know
have
the
an
people
opinion on
that
Three
like
Hopes.
3 Hopes are fucking head over heels for it. It's a very...
I don't have an opinion on 3 Hopes.
I don't like Musa games, so yeah. I mean, the demo is cool. It's just like, I'm glad they made a free demo.
I know,
for
because
it.
you guys don't have an opinion on it. I can just keep it in S. You can't really argue against me. It has the best writing in the series, and the gameplay is fine.
It is localized by 8.4, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it is. It is. It's 3 houses, but written well and localized by 8.4. Like, you cannot get any better than that.
3 Houses is written like garbage.
3 houses
At
is
least admit
written
that.
well, like 50% of the time, and the other 50%, it's like, wow, this is just Fates.
Yeah, it's kind of like anything that's like really important is basically Fate's tier, which is very odd. But like, I still think
But
it
it has
has
the
like
best
the highest
character
quality
writing in
support.
the series.
I'm
like-
someone who kind of has like, I don't know if you call
Well,
it.
since we're at
enlightened
3
interest in
houses, since we're at 3
I think-
houses, I know I cannot argue.
C.
Yeah, what? That low?
What
I
did
was
not
gonna
say?
be like,
C?
I was gonna be like, I know I could never get in an S with you two in the call, so I was gonna argue for A, and you just go straight C. That's crazy.
Emmett said C.
Yeah.
Can I say D?
No!
Base.
No!
Based.
No! No, we're not going lower than B. Are you fucking serious?
It is like the single worst Fire Emblem game to replay.
It
No,
is
it's not. Path of Radiance exists.
agonizing. Path of Radiance is so fine.
It's way
You can
worse on
actually,
replay.
Like, play into it. Okay, like the one of the worst things about 3 houses is due to how fucking much harder maddening is than hard. You have to like look into the abyss to like really fucking understand optimizations and things about the mechanics that you can't go back. You will always know how fucking stupid rallies are and how miracle
fuck.
the miracle shit what's the AoE thing called with gambits. You always know how stupid Stride is. You always know how stupid Miracle is, and Dance of the Goddess. Playing Maddening basically ruins the game, unless you're just like trying to go, I want to play for the characters, like a nerd.
I would say like
I still think C is.
C is probably fair. I want D. C is probably fair.
I hate you. I hate both of
We'll
you.
give you 3 hopes.
Three
I'll
Houses
take-
is,
I'll take
like,
the 3
It's the most
hopes.
unpleasant game in the entire series to play.
I don't get it.
in my opinion.
I have never. I don't understand. Like Okay. I'm gonna. I'm gonna make my case. I get it. I understand why the monastery ruins everything for everybody, and so does the calendar system as a whole. I completely get it. That said, I don't care.
I honestly don't
like,
think it's the monastery. It's just the systems themselves aren't.
the game is like so exhausting that the monastery feels rewarding for me, because it's like, okay, wow, the hard map is over. Now I get to talk to my favorite characters in the series and see what they have to say about the chapter that I just played. This is so awesome. They all have voiced lines. This is great. I love this. And it's like, I don't know, like I get why people focus, like the people who focus on the gameplay don't care about that. It's like that these games just like.
No, that's why it's great once. It's like a Path of Radiance syndrome, just like.
But it's C tier,
Except-
really, for like one of the.
I'd rather replay Path of Radiance.
Yeah, but it's like,
I'd
are we
probably
tiering these for
replay 3
replay
houses,
value
but
or for
only-
like as a whole, as a video game
As
experience?
a whole, Fire Emblem is a very replayable series, so it loses points for that.
For me, it is.
Especially
I
for a
can't
game that wants
but,
you to
like,
like if you want to get the plot, you have to replay it.
Maybe that's the problem, because me as a player, like, I don't replay games like back to back. I don't do that. I play a game once every few years and that's it. Like, I don't go back at it as soon as I've beaten it, because I'm satisfied with it and I move
How many
on
times
with
have
my
you
life.
played Three Houses?
Well, they have different routes. It's not the same thing.
That's a big issue with Three Houses. The routes are so samey. They're not different enough.
That's
Yeah,
like,
that's an argument. You're right.
Even to get everything out of Three Houses once, you have to play it 4 times.
I agree
And
with the
That
fact that
includes
it's like
playing a minimum of like 11 identical chapters.
your
4
first
times.
your first playthrough, especially because White Clouds is like that well written. Like, regardless of how we
I do
feel
think
about
White
part
Clouds
2.
is slept on.
White Clouds
in
is
terms of
so
just-
good that like your first playthrough will always be really enjoyable, and then you have to do it again, and then you have to do it again, and then you have to do it again. I get it. I
If
get why
Three
that part
Houses
is
didn't
annoying.
want you to replay it, it could be B tier. But it's New Game Plus encourages replays, and it's just not fun to replay.
I get that. The game itself like relies on you going back and doing it again. So I can't even do the whole I don't do that argument because for this game I do that because I said do because it's built into the core gameplay, and it still doesn't bother me because each run gives me new new dialogue and new character interactions, so I personally don't mind it. However, I understand it more having to do the
It's
same
like I
maps
understand why
again.
people love it, but it's not. I don't think it's an FE game. It just
I
lags.
wish I really wouldn't care for the monastery at all if the maps in White Clouds were different depending on the route. Like, if they had, like, if each route was completely different from start to finish, I literally, if the monastery
This
would
is where
not
the
matter to me.
cross recruiting kind of fucking kneecaps the game's shins in.
Yeah, because you just always use the same units, aside from like
Yeah,
one or
you
two
always want to
house
get
specific
Litsithia. You always want to get Sane. Or-
Yeah,
Sylvain.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Three Hopes does
You're
it
always going to use
really
Shamir
well.
and Catherine unless you're playing.
Three Hopes does
What's it
all of
called?
these problems, like does
Crimson
away
Cloud.
with
Yeah,
all
no,
of
it
these
does.
problems. Like like replay value is there because every route is entirely different. Recruitment is fixed, like you only get certain units on certain routes. The pacing is not completely fucked out of its mind, but it's not a Fire Emblem game, so that's why people don't care.
It's really a shame that Three Hopes does so many things so right, but then it plays like that.
It's fun.
I mean,
it's still
plays
fun.
like
It's
a
just not Fire
just-
Emblem.
It's just yeah.
Anyway, speaking of
alright.
a game that definitely is Fire Emblem, I'm not putting 7 above Three Houses, so you can like.
Uh,
I think
FE7 is
7
an
is
F.
on par with Three Houses.
It's F.
it's
It's
not
the worst
F.
game in the series.
You are fucking crazy. It is
No,
not
it's-
F. We are putting it.
Three
probably
Houses
next-
is the most unpleasant game in the series, but FE7 has literally nothing original to offer.
No, FE7 has a lot of little quirks in its world that makes it feel alive. And I think it at least always it tried.
I like how FE7 is actually pretty unique for the series because it doesn't have you never actually fight in a war. Like you're not
I mean
ever
that is absolutely not really relevant. I'm
It's
sorry
not.
to
It's
say.
not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not at all. It's not at all. But like, I just like that. Gameplay
I think
wise,
FE7
gameplay
just
wise,
happened to
what
it
it
makes
does
things
have.
feel alive. You have Pent and Luis not supports. You have the Bartre Carla thing, the
I
little
think-
mini route split versus just like for flavor.
I think FE7 does have unique aspects to it, but everything unique about it is like removing things that other games.
It's
have.
literally Three Houses, proto Three Houses.
I don't know about. I don't know what
about
you mean
pro-
by
I don't
that.
see how it's similar to Three Houses.
It's
aside
like-
from the
the
fact that it's bad.
I
It's-
just
it's
it has a
writing
lot
is
of.
half either good or terrible. It has multiple routes with like the protagonist splits that don't really change that much unless you're a really diehard fan of it.
I feel like it's
The
more like
units
it has
can be
like
slightly different, but they kind of are all samey in regards to like using the best ones always.
it takes the gameplay of FE6 but removes so much of it, like scraps it down so much.
They don't even feel comparable games.
Yeah, it does, but like, it's
It's-
on the same engine. I'm just saying, like, it takes like a lot of mechanics from FE6, and it just like
Yeah.
puts it down to its like, it feels like
Simplistic.
well, FE6 was designed to be simple. FE7 tried to, I don't know. It gets gimmicky at points, yeah, but like, what does it actually do with the gimmicks? It's just like here's rain. That's it. The maps
Yeah.
aren't designed around the rain. It's just like it doesn't.
I
It
feel
doesn't
like
really
the fact
try
that I'm thinking
new
it's on par with
things.
Three Houses is not good for Three Houses. Let's say.
No.
I just think most games are A or B. So that's why I think it's on par with 3 houses.
Yeah, I think
I will forever have 3 houses in S, but like, you know, whatever. For like, I
I
have,
think
I have,
S7
I have like
is
half the
just-
I have half the series in S. So what is that even like? I like Fire Emblem games. Wow, what a shocker.
All right, let's pick a wild card next. Let's go with.
Did we just agree with this placement? Like, I don't know if I want to put it.
I don't
like,
think anyone's
lower.
gonna be happy with it.
I want it lower.
I might
It's bad.
actually. I want it just for the sake of I don't want it in the same tier as 3 houses. I don't think they're in the
Fine.
same tier. So I will put it in
Put
D.
it in D.
Yes,
I
will
like
put it in D.
FE7 more than 3 houses.
I do
That's-
not.
Put it in
I
D,
do
but
not.
Fine. I'll
Let me-
accept when I'm in the minority.
Let me
All right.
let me say my piece though.
Okay.
FE7 is a game that supplements its lack of fun or depth or really anything with stupid, obnoxious gimmicks like rain and water temples.
You know what FE7 is closer to? It's not 3
Lunatic's-
houses. It's Revelation. It's Revelation
really
before
is.
Revelation. That's what it is.
Except
I mean,
Rev-
Revelation is the only game going in F. Lunatic Revelation is
Oh,
one of the only FE games I've dropped.
I've
it's like-
I'm gonna firmly disagree with you on that one because I don't think Rev is going in F.
Rev is
I mean-
absolutely absurd.
I
There's
do
no
think
redeeming
some-
qualities.
Rev
There's
can
no
be
redeeming
D, Rev
qualities.
can be D.
No.
Rev's
And I
biggest
do
issue
think
is
something
just
is going
Lunatic
in
sucking
F.
ass. I think it's like a lot more playable on hard.
What else? Oh, Birthright can also go into F, and I don't really care.
Honestly, Rev D, Birthright F.
No,
I would agree with that.
absolutely the fuck not. I am not.
Rev
I am
is
not doing
so
this with
much
you
better
two.
than
That's
Birthright.
I am not doing this with
Birthright
you two.
sucks ass.
I am not doing this with you two. Revelation can have all of its sandbox at once. It can have all of its fun mechanics at once. If every single fucking map is unplayable, obnoxious, and unfun, and slow and tedious, which Birthright is too, the game
Yes,
sucks.
and-
The game sucks. There is no fun to be had with its whatever sandbox bullshit you want to
The
throw at
best
it.
part about Revelations, you can do Conquest Paralogs in it.
Which
Smiley
suck! They suck! Most
Conquest
of them
Paralogs
suck!
are awesome!
No, they don't! Conquest Paralogs includes Seekbirth, which is the worst map
Yeah,
in the
that's
entire
worst map
game!
I've ever played. That doesn't count.
But
We
you
can
most
can-
of
still
them
do
su-
the-
Soleil's
good
fine. Soleil's fine,
Rev-
I guess. Ophelia's
Soleil.
okay.
There's only one L you pronounce. It's Soleil.
Whatever, who cares? Those are like
Um,
okay maps, but like,
Parsley map's fun.
if I wanted to play those, I would
like
just
Force.
play Conquest, which is up
I mean,
here, by
yeah.
the way. Like, wait, what are
But-
you? I don't have to. I'm not going to fight for Birthright above Revelation. I don't agree with it, but I can let you guys
Whatever.
have that
As
one.
long as it's left to right,
It can-
I can live with that.
But Birthright can be below Revelation, but I will never, I will never concede that they are a tier apart, or like that Revelation is a tier better. That is a fucking crazy statement. Both are so
Revelation-
unfun to play.
Revelation's pretty fun.
It's not.
It depends on the difficulty.
I think
Lunatic
Revelation-
EXP cut kind of like kneecapped
When it's like
yourself.
when the whole draw of the game is you can use any unit you want. Who's getting called by John Pork?
What?
I realize you're not Zoomers. All right. Anyway.
That's me. That's my bad.
Okay. Anyway.
Alright.
When the whole
Let's do
draw of the,
FE11.
in a second, when the whole draw of the game is you can use any unit you want, and then all of the units fucking suck and are not fun to use and have horrible stats, except for like Shura. What is the point? Why am I playing
To
this
be honest-
game?
That's basically FE7. Growth unit's bad.
Yeah, but the difference with those games is FE7's enemies also suck. So it's like
That's true.
the units are
To
at
be
least
fair-
usable.
To be fair, you have enough tools in Rev that you can make anyone really good.
Yeah, I mean it's like a lot of favoritism, but yeah. I mean
Yeah,
honestly,
I
some
feel like-
people sleep on certain Rev units. Like Hinoka, Laszlo,
Hinoka is
Perry
good. Setsuna
are
is
all
like
kind of slept on.
Setsuna exists.
Satsuna's weirdly okay.
Yeah,
in
she
Rev, which is
exists
kind
like
of
in
fucking
Birthright
weird.
where she doesn't exist. In
It's
Revelation,
really
she
funny how
exists.
much worse Azama is in Birthright in Revelation.
It's so sad. He got like
'Cause-
2 levels and like nothing stat wise.
Anyway,
And he joined so much later.
uh,
anyway, Rev.
we agree with
Rev is
Conquest up
pretty
here,
bad, but
right? Like,
yeah.
No,
no.
What? Or A? I can see Conquest A at worst.
I think Conquest is A.
Okay, I could.
I think
can
Conquest
live
has
with
enough
A.
problems. That
What
it's
do
not
you
A.
have
It's
in
got some-
S? What do you have in S? Is my question.
You'll see.
it-
There's 2 games in S.
Only
Is it-
two.
we
haven't
Like
gotten
I like. You don't need to have it that small. Like I don't.
I mean,
I don't enjoy playing Conquest very much. I think I,
mean, hey,
honestly
we're
would put
2
it
to 3.
below
We're
Radiant
2
Dawn.
versus 3. That's kind of our gist.
I
Let's put
can-
Conquest in S.
I can put Conquest bottom of S, but let's keep it in S.
Yeah,
'cause I
I'm
think
fine
both
with
of
that.
us agree with that.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna argue with the top of S. It's probably like I would. We can just like get it out of the way.
Yeah,
Are we all the
FE6
FE6 gang?
We're all FE6 guys.
FE6
It's so-
FE6
Okay.
is going in S. It's the best.
It's the best
It's not
one.
the
I
best,
think.
actually. It's not the best.
Are,
But
you're not saying Shadow Dragon is the best. I don't. I'm
put
so-
Shadow Dragon above FE6 right now.
No, it's
Wait,
not
let's do
going.
FE12 right now.
Okay.
I
no,
think
no, no.
FE12 is a C tier game.
FE12 is C. It's above Three Houses.
It's not above Three Houses. Shadow Dragon can go into S, but you're gonna have to fight really hard to put it above FE6.
Shadow Dragon
Dragon's
has
a
like
game.
5 bad chapters, and
Yeah.
the rest of it is actual peak.
But
The
FE6's
greatest
units,
fucking experience.
FE6's units actually feel different from each other.
FE11 units feel different from each other. Well, actually, no, because like 60% of them just die immediately.
I mean, it's like the top tiers are all pretty distinct.
Yeah,
and
they
then
are.
Everyone
And
that
everyone
isn't
else
them
sucks.
is
Well, in
weird.
FE6, like
Yeah.
everybody feels distinct. The bottom tiers still feel distinct. Like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
My main
I
problem
still
with
think
Shadow
that's a big
Dragon.
reason why I fucking hate Three Houses to
My-
an extent, gameplay-wise. I still like the plot. I'm like probably mean on the plot more than I need to be, but everyone's like the Swift Striker and the Warper. Those are like the only 2 goddamn roles like game maddening.
Yeah,
I
that's
fucking-
fair. That's fair. I
Trust me.
100% agree with that. Where that's why when I play Three Houses, I only ever do canon classes because that actually keeps the like variety. But that's just me. That's not a point in the game's favor. That's just that makes.
That's honestly why I like FE7 because like the units all feel pretty distinct. But
Yeah,
that's
no, I
also
agree with
just-
that. I agree with that too. But it's just that the game versus the game is like. It
Right,
does-
let's-
Anyway, quickly going to Shadow Dragon. My main gripe with it is that mechanically it's probably the best in the series. It feels the best. It is the fastest. It has the most replay value. It is fun. Every single map is engaging and fun. The problem with it is that it lacks everything that everything that appeals to me in this series, like as a whole. Where it's like,
Yeah,
I look
can
at the
see.
game.
I understand.
I look at the game and it's like when I started playing
It's
Fire Emblem,
limited
it's like
writing is some of the best writing in the series, but still limited.
no, the writing doesn't even like it's not even the writing specifically because the writing is good. It's the fact that the characters just don't pop out. Like the whole point of the Fire Emblem games is like oh, each run I can use a new unit that I'm interested in because they seemed cool and I kind of like I want to see how they play in gameplay. But in Shadow Dragon, you don't really do that because it's Shadow Dragon.
Yeah, that's also why I despise FE8.
Yeah, I can can we do this?
FE8B. FE8B.
B?
FE8 is B or top of C.
I'll put it above Three
It's
Houses.
pretty good. It's
I
pretty
wanted
good.
B. I'm the FE8 simp, and I'm going to hold my tongue.
You're
at B.
2-1 here. I can't really argue against you. I can have it.
FE8's pretty good.
If we
But I
if we can as a group agree FE12 goes below Three Houses, I can put 8 into B. I think that's
I will.
fine.
I'll go with FE12 below Three Houses just because I don't like
FE12
either of them.
FE12 is a game I'm kind of actually tsundere for. It like its highs are just so unmatched by the rest of the series, but its valleys are just so fucking horrendous.
It has
does-
some of the worst maps in the series that aren't from Revelation. It has stupid like
the one
enemy
two
enemy
great
layouts.
enemies is
It-
just like, especially on reverse. That's not strategy. That's just fucking knowing how to like follow a fucking flowchart.
But one thing
long
it does
code.
surprisingly like it actually does what Shadow Dragon lacks because it actually has growth rates and also supports. It makes the characters feel more distinct from each other, and the reclassing system is also it's still as open, but like it feels more like
It's weird because you kind of get so many flyers / wyverns right away, which is
Yeah.
kind of like why FE11 system's a little better. But I still like 12. I still think 12 just suffers from a lot of
But, like,
small
it's
issues
just not-
that are
it's
like
not fun
death
to
by
play.
1,000 cuts.
for me it's not fun to play, but there's a lot of it I do appreciate that I want in a Fire Emblem game. 6, by the way, has all of those things. Also, Conquest has all of those things. I think Conquest goes above SD, but you guys aren't gonna agree with me on that one, so I'm not.
I think SD is a much stronger package than Conquest.
I see
overall.
I see
really
the
like
case.
its writing.
It's a lot easier to digest. That is a point in Shadow Dragon's. It is so easy to digest. It is like, it is just you know what you're getting, you enjoy it every time, and you can get it again, right? Like
Yeah.
that's why I get Shadow Dragon fans. I get it, but it's like it's just lacking for me something that I can get from other games. Because like
You know what's really, really important?
what?
Shadow Dragon introduced generic units.
We could,
True.
we could do this. Anyway,
I mean, you could say FE1 did, Ha ha ha.
Oh, speaking of FE1, I think we can all agree that it goes above Revelation and Birthright into F tier.
I kind of don't. I almost feel like that's too mean to FE1. I almost want to put it next to FE7.
Really? I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. Actually, I can totally like, I can vibe with that opinion.
I kind of like FE1 a little bit. I haven't actually finished it, but I played like 8 chapters.
That's
on the Switch
I think
version,
there's your
and
problem. I
had
think
a
there's
fun
your
time.
problem.
Yeah.
You haven't
Everyone gets
finished
pretty
it.
bad.
It gets really
I
bad in
think
its late game. But the thing is, you have to always look at it through a lens. You have to always be like, this was the first game, and it does so much that is so charming and
If its
nice.
maps weren't good, it would be.
Its maps are
a
good.
lot
That's the crazy part.
that's the
these
weird thing, yeah.
These games don't have good maps. This is the first game in a series, and it actually has good maps. Like
Yeah, like we love FE11 maps.
Yeah, right.
They're literally just FE1 maps.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it has qualities that these two
I
games
think
just
it's
don't
next
have.
to FE7 is fine.
I think I'm pretty good, like happy with that opinion too. By the way, I would like to make a disclaimer now before we get too late in the video. None of this reflects my opinions as a person. My own list
If you
looks
haven't
vastly
heard
different.
Musoli burning in lava say, no, 3 houses is S tier.
I will put my own list right next to this up on the screen right now if you want to shit on my own takes. This
Honestly,
is
my only gripe is that I put FE7 next to 3 houses.
this is just us arguing with each other. Anyway, since Aaron hasn't spoken in forever, you can choose the next game. Unless you have anything to say about FE1.
FE1 is like whatever. It's impressive for the time, but no. Plop Radiant Dawn right there in that A tier.
A tier?
That's
I
where
agree.
that's where it is on my own tier list. So
Wait,
you know what?
Radiant Dawn?
Oh, Radiant Dawn. Sorry, but you know that's where that is also, or close to it in proximity.
Yeah, I think Radiant Dawn has really strong peaks. It's worth replaying.
It's my favorite
It
game in the
obviously
series,
has
but
hiccups, and I can see why somebody would love it as their favorite for sure.
it's absolutely my favorite game in the series. But like, I see its flaws. Part 4 is not fun. But
I think Part 3 is pretty questionable as well.
Part 3
but
has
Part 3
hit
is
or
like
miss
very
maps.
consistent.
Yeah, I
don't
agree
wanna,
with
like,
that.
It's weird to generalize.
I don't think it ever gets as bad as Part 4, but there's a lot of it which is like,
There's a lot of maps where it just feels like nothing's actually getting accomplished.
Exactly, and then
In terms of
there's-
gameplay
I'm
and
not
story.
big
all
on
of the
Part 2,
all of the
personally,
Mikaya, me personally, all of the Mikaya maps in Part 3 are really fucking good. But a lot of
I
the,
like those, but
a
like,
lot of the Ike maps just kind of blend in together.
I don't like the 313, but I like the other Makai maps.
313 is my favorite map in the game. What are you talking about?
Ledges.
Ledges is so fun.
It's the body block. That's like the ultimate strategy.
Yeah, but it's fun, and it's also like narratively interesting, and it's also like, wow, we're fighting Ike's army, and it's actually like, you know, pressuring until you get the game. It's the same. It's like Elysia's Gambit, where like when you play it for the first time, you're like, wow, this is the greatest thing ever, and then you're like, wait, hold on, you could cheese this in like 2 turns, and it's really not.
I'm not
that
big on
difficult.
Part 2 either. Not narratively. Just I don't like 2P, 2-1, and Jeffrey's Charge.
I like 2P. I like the fact that it does the whole like enemies actually
It's like a neat gimmick. It's not like a bad map. I just don't really want to replay it.
I like 2P. I
Um,
don't really like 2-1. 2-2
Wait.
is like
2P is the Elysia map, right?
2P is the
Okay.
cloud map. 2-1 is the farm map, and I'm not really a fan of that one. But that's just because Braum and Nephany aren't really that fun to
Two
use.
unit.
yeah, because
big
you have
map.
one unit that has a weapon weighing them down from doubling. You have one unit that's just slow in general,
And then you have Heather, the worst character.
and you
in
have
the
Heather who
series.
does like 4 damage. It's like no one one rounds. No one even comes particularly close.
I love it when
reliable
people
on the
see
But we're all agreeing.
aggressively petty stereotypes and go, OMG, that's my representation.
I mean, I would have Radiant Dawn #1 because it's my favorite game in the series. But if you both say A, I'm not gonna argue A because it's above all of these, and that's fine with me. Like,
Radiant Dawn is a damn good game that just has a few. Really
since we're not acknowledging story in this conversation, I don't mind A.
It's like a
being-
factor, but not like the biggest factor.
because it has my personal favorite story. I like its flaws are so minimal to me personally that like they don't bring it down. Like its highs and what it does with it for the series, like uniqueness, like it does things no other game does. It does those things really well. It handles its characters really well. Sadly, it doesn't handle
The boss
all of
combos.
its. Oh, the bosses are fucking phenomenal. The dialogue in general is fucking phenomenal. And it sadly doesn't handle every character. That's its biggest flaw in its writing. with
Yeah,
my
its
same
biggest
problem with
flaw
Shadow
is
Dragon.
that it's new characters that aren't Micaiah,
Just don't exist.
Palelis, and Yoon aren't characters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like it's just everything it does new, and it does like it tries to do, it does well, and I don't care. Like the Blood Pact is honestly good, and I'm so tired of people saying it came out of nowhere.
No.
It was literally set up in Path of Radiance. Like you can
Just
look.
because it's set up doesn't mean a piece of paper that can kill an entire country is any good.
It is good because it literally serves the story. Like it is.
Yeah, it serves the story like a fucking chain around
They
a certain
wanted-
leader's neck.
They wanted a conflict between your two parties, and they wrote it in a way that it doesn't assassinate any of the characters that you're playing as. I think that
Except
is
the
an
heart.
accomplishment.
Except the heart.
Seahawk at least can defect out of like anger. That's
Seahawk-
probably why
can-
Tormund probably joined part 3, and that's why he mysteriously disappears at the end of part 1. He
You
probably
literally-
originally joined, and they realized, oh god, this is fucking terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
he probably. You know what would be great? If you
What?
got Tormod's crew in like 3-3 or 3-4 in Ike's army.
yeah, it would be
Yeah,
awesome.
that's why I'm convinced they like. There's no reason
Then-
why Ileana joins, but not Tormod really with them.
yeah.
So I
agree.
feel like it's just more likely to assume that they just got ridden out of Micaiah's army.
Yeah, it would make sense because Laguz, like obviously they fight for those. No, but my point is, like my main argument for the Blood Pact is that the piece of paper itself doesn't matter. It is just a way for the game to have the conflict that it wants without ruining any characters, because that's what Three Houses does. Three
It
Houses
matters
will.
because it makes the villains able to kill an entire country without fighting a fucking.
Well, but you know, Lacane is stupid. And he's written. The senators.
Yeah,
are
exactly.
Written, the senators are written to be idiots, so it's fine. I don't really. Sephiroth doesn't want to
Yeah.
kill the whole country, so.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
he's a-
Sephiroth's cool.
Yeah, he's the main
accept-
villain. He's the main villain, and that's the one that matters. Lacane is a fucking idiot, and he's supposed to be one. And also, it's in character for him not to want to use it unless he's absolutely forced to, because he would rather control the country than kill it, because he likes power, and he's a power-hungry capitalist Catholic senator. And
Somebody should make a death note out of
I don't know.
blood pact paper.
Me personally, the Blood Pact is really not that bad outside of just kind of poorly handling Peleus. Like, that's
Yeah.
my flaw. That is my
I
only
think I'm mad
complaint.
because Peleus is one of my favorite Radiant Dawn characters.
I
so
like,
I'm, like
no,
extra.
I agree with that. Peleus is a fucking phenomenal character, and his death could have been handled better. That is something I will not like argue, but how it like affects the overall plot, I think people blow it way out of proportion. I really
It's like
don't
his
think it
character
matters that
flaw
much.
for being trusting is just getting told, "Hey, sign this thing you can't read," and then it actually
I
fucking
think-
matters magically.
I think
That's not a character flaw. That's just a normal interaction going like, "Oops, your country's gonna die unless you listen to me, idiot." Like, it just ruins any like dramatic tension like to take seriously or his type of dilemma.
I agree with that. I think the whole character being trusting thing was done way better by Erica. But anyway, Radiant Dawn, like like that's just a character that like that's not even like that's my point. That's like my only flaw.
Yeah, I still really like
and-
Micaiah in part 1. It's still a good game. Let's just continue.
Yeah.
Both are
Anyway,
great.
we're Micaiah is good throughout the entire game. Micaiah is good from start
I
to
love
finish.
Micaiah.
She's fucking awesome. Like she
Her
has.
only flaw is that Yune hijacks her body.
Yeah, that's like that's literally it, right? Like the only her only flaw is that she doesn't exist at the end of the game. Like what?
All right, let's do Awakening.
Yeah, that's
C.
probably
I-
no. I'm putting it.
I
Above
want to
Sacred
put.
Stones.
I'll be fair and put B.
It's going above
It's-
FE8. It's not going below FE8. It does everything FE8 wants to do, but better. Like, fuck you.
No.
It does not go
I
below
think we
FE8.
could do below FE8. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, it doesn't. What do you mean? FE8's
FE8
biggest
is like
flaws
a
are
design
things
the
Awakening
game.
does well. Reclassing, way better in
Awakening's-
Awakening, because it's actually, like, it's engaging, and it
FE8 has a
has
split
replay
promotion.
value.
It is not reclassing that lets you become Dark Mage and use the most broken incarnation of Nosferatu.
Yeah, my
that's
point
viable.
is map system. It isn't it isn't required to use other units, like it is in FE8. Like you know, weaker units, because you can just in Awakening you can just use them. Like you don't have to go.
What?
I have never had to grind in Awakening to use.
Have you played Lunatic?
Nobody.
Like
Okay,
ever?
if you want to talk about Lunatic, then it goes in half. Who
I-
cares?
Because like
I
Lunatic
still
is
think
way
Awakening
grindier and way
can just
worse.
be under FE8. It'll be B tier.
I don't. If you really wanna include, like, if you wanna have Lunatic hit the game that much, I could argue lower for it. Like I could agree C with you just because
Honestly-
Lunatic fucking sucks. But like I don't like that's why
I'm very torn as an Awakening fan, but I'm still like a gameplay purist.
it's like whenever people rank Fire Emblem games, I don't understand the whole only ranking the hardest difficulty. You rank the game as a whole.
I don't fully agree with hardest difficulty necessarily, but I should pick one of the higher difficulties if I want to keep my attention.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like
Like
it's the same
Radiant
thing for
Dawn
Three
is
Houses.
awful. It's like enough.
But
Three
both-
Houses hard is like not difficult at all. Though.
It
It's,
isn't,
like, kind
but
of
it's like maddening isn't the whole game. It's the same for Awakening. Lunatic isn't the whole game. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
still think its problems, regardless, are just snowballing issues in
the problem
general.
with Awakening is
also
that,
my
like,
other argument is that FE8 feels the same no matter on what difficulty it is, which is just annoying and grindy, while Awakening actually like has differences.
like FE8 isn't grindy though.
It's
It is.
FE8
No, it
grindy
is.
if you wanna use
It
bad
is.
units.
it
Scampers
is if
don't
you-
use bad units.
It is grindy if you use anyone that isn't Seth or Cormac or Vanessa. Like,
That's not though.
It is.
I literally
not
got
Joshua.
Garcia to like 2011
What?
with no skirmishes in an
That's
Iron Man.
crazy. That's fucking crazy. How did you do
That's-
that?
He's
I
good,
think
he was
Awakening next to. I feel like Awakening next to Three Houses kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Even if
I
I
think
don't
they have similar
want to fully
flaws.
agree.
Yeah, I mean, like
But they're
again,
very
if we're valuing Lunatic or Lunatic Plus that much, then I will agree because I don't like
I
they're
don't even think
actively
it's Lunatic
unfun.
related. It's just the scaling of child units kind of brings the game down a lot for me. 'cause
I
it
don't
just
like.
makes me-
I cannot have FE8 above all these games. I hate that game so much. That game is so unfun. I have played it like 7 times, and not a single time has it been fun. I do not like that game. I cannot see it being above all of these games. I cannot agree with that. It's crazy that it's a tier and it's in its tier of its own. It is just not fun. It is not fun.
If you think
its
about
maps
it, it's also
fucking
gets bonus
suck.
points by being every other hack game.
I mean, yeah, it has a good engine. That doesn't make it. Revelation has a good engine. Once we figure out how to actually hack 3DS games, we'll use that
That'd be great.
as an engine because it's fucking awesome. But
Yes, but that's in the future.
yeah, but like
We don't live in the future, and also
Actually-
FE8 is actually not that unpleasant. It's fine.
it is. The maps suck. The maps are so bad, and like
Yeah.
This
just-
is like
they're
a
better
thing I've noticed in like discussions of like I guess not hacks, just GBA in general. Fire Emblem is kind of cool that you can always like self-optimize and play at whatever speed, but like some people get really annoyed if a hack is like easy and doesn't force you to go fast. They'll just go innately slow because they want to. And I think FE8 and FE7 kind of suffer from that. But I like going fast anyways, so.
it's just I don't know when half the maps have to be warp skipped to enjoy. Because like
What?
with Shadow Dragon, it is optimal to warp skip most of the game, but the maps are still fun to play. With FE8,
You get warped for the last 5 maps of FE8.
There's
Yeah, and
literally
all- and
2
all-
warp skip usually.
yeah, and all of those maps suck.
The only
Yeah.
bad one, like Darkling Woods is bad.
I say
and then
warp.
guess-
I say warp skip, but I mean in general, like rushing forward with Seth or flying over the map or shit like
That's
that.
bad.
Like I don't find the joy in that. I don't find the joy in
I
that.
also
FE6,
like-
FE6 also allows you to do that, and it's and it's optimal, but the maps are still fun to play if you don't do it. FE8
Let's
does
just move on.
I don't want to move on because I don't want to have FE8 above all these games.
We're
better.
outruled anyways, so it's like
SOV is S tier, right? Like
SOV is below. SOV is like next to 3 houses.
I
You're
think it can go next to
crazy!
it can go
It has
next
a-
to it can go next to FE8.
Yeah, that's
Even above
probably
if you
more.
want.
That's probably more fair. I think I find SOV much less pleasant to play than FE8.
SOV is a game that's you should actually if you replay it, Durfly, you gotta play with the meta. It's actually kind of fun with it. Like I'm not even trying to exaggerate. It like is very enjoyable and satisfying once you're kind of playing with like units that actually fucking kill shit.
where do you guys rank Engage? This is terrifying me.
But don't worry, Engage is gonna go somewhere. I have a plan for Engage. I don't know if Emmett's gonna agree with it though.
You know what? Okay, let's not go to Engage yet. What are your takes on Gaiden? I wanna calm
Gaiden
down.
is
I haven't
going
actually
in.
played Gaiden.
Gaiden is going an F
Yeah, we
You
want to
really
put it
think-
last.
You really think it's
above
worth?
Rev.
You really think it's worth
I just
FE1?
know it's-
I think it's more
Yes.
fun than FE1.
It is probably more fun than FE1. The difference is marginal,
Then I'll
but
put,
it came
you
out
know what?
after FE1, so
Like,
I can't
either-
give it the credit that I give FE1.
Either we put FE1 down in F or we put Gaiden up in D, but it's not
You know what?
going
Let's
to.
just let's just give FE7 its own tier.
It's true. That's
Okay.
fair.
Fine. I'm fine. I'm
I think
okay with
Gaiden
this.
is slightly worse than FE1, but I'm willing to concede.
I
they're the
have
same
not
tier.
played Gaiden. I have one friend that sims
It's
for
just,
it,
it's just like
but like
I don't. I'm not gonna like. It's a fucking NES game. It sucks. Absolutely. But it just does
Alright.
things that are more interesting than FE1, and it's like mechanically more fun than FE1.
okay, let's do
We have
FE4.
like 5 games left.
Well, FE4 is like at least here, right?
FE4 is either the top of B or the bottom of A.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Okay. You know what? Then we don't even have to like that. That was an easy one.
Yeah.
Thracia is
I
like
think
here.
Thracia,
I think
where do
Thracia
you put
goes
it?
next. Thracia goes next to FE4.
I would put Thracia below FE8.
Thracia's so weird. I feel like if I see Thracia mechanics, anything else, I fucking want to die inside.
Me personally,
Which is not a good
I
sign.
always need to have a tier gap between 4 and 5 because it's just they like I play 4, I go into 5, and it's like wow, this
Durful,
game is
where did you
great.
say?
It's just Durful
I
said
said
below
bottom of
Sacred
B.
Stones, but
I
like
think I might agree with that. The more I think about how much I wanna
really.
play it.
Thracia is like the thing is it's unpleasant. It's
It's
unpleasant
great.
every
It's-
time.
it's got Path of Radiance syndrome. where
FE8 is
No.
unpleasant.
No, so you see the thing is Thracia is
Wait,
unpleasant
B
every
tier
time you play
is-
it, but in different ways.
B tier is funny. It's like literally, it's good asterisk.
But no, FE8 is unpleasant, or FE8. FE5 is unpleasant in a different way depending on how many times you've played it before.
yeah.
Because the first time you play it, it's like, oh, what the fuck am I doing? What
You
the
need,
fuck
like-
does that mean? How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
And then
it-
every time after that, you're like, oh, this shit again.
yeah. I think FE5 has a really unique vision, at least. Why'd you put FE9 in D tier?
Because if you have
I thought you
7, if you have 7 in D tier, then like put 9 there for gameplay. Like it's not-
FE9 is better than FE7.
yeah, it's it
I
isn't
honestly
going
think you
above
put it
these
next
for
to
gameplay.
FE12.
Yeah, it is.
What?
FE9 is simple. All of the games in C tier play like ass, except FE12, which like is just
FE9
obnoxious.
I think FE9 goes next to C. Is in C somewhere.
I mean, me
I don't wanna
personally,
do any
I'm
higher.
not gonna argue because like I like FE9, but I don't want to put it above 3 houses. That's the part that's bugging
I
me.
think
The problem
FE9
is-
is almost too simple even compared to FE7, but I'm someone who really likes Sector Hard
I
mode
think
and
your
all
problem. I think your
works.
problem is you're replaying it right now when you're like, wow, this game wasn't as bad as I remembered, but you haven't gotten to the late game yet, and as soon as you will,
that
you
could
want
be
to
part of it.
you're gonna rank it lower again because you'll have played the FE like the FE9 late game will be in
Flash.
your recent memory, and you'll be like, wow, okay, yeah, this game isn't that fun at all. Like that's how I felt when I replayed it last year, and I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you know what, this might get more
Actually,
praise
yeah.
from me than I thought,
Our
and then I
B
played the
tier
late
and
game.
C tier are weirdly similar, except for like if you ignore FE12. It's like B tier is kind of like, you kind of need to like have a understanding of how to like not get bored, and then C tier is kind of like, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's cool the first time, but after that, it's kind of like weird if you like know too much about it. Except for
Yeah, I think Path of Radiance is more pleasant than Three Houses to play on the first playthrough because Three Houses just doesn't respect your time in any way. I mean, Path of
I
Radiance,
mean, FE. I
king
think
of
you
not
start
respecting your
sleeping on
time.
FE9's fucking
But-
engine speed.
Three Houses is like it really doesn't respect your time.
I mean, that's true.
Three Houses is like I'm gonna waste
I skipped the
2
fucking
hours of your
last
time
month.
getting to each chapter.
I skipped the last months of my first run. Yeah, just do heroes tier, please, or zeros. Name it zeros.
Yeah, Heroes is in its own little shitty tier.
Best. Okay, that works.
And Warriors, sure. So we have 3 games left, right?
Can we put BSFE next to Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
Yeah, that's fair.
No, we're putting it a tier above, and it's
Yeah,
gonna be
best.
the greatest game ever made.
No, Muesli.
Yeah?
Change the title of that tier to
How?
30 minutes.
I mean, that is
Just the Frost recruitment.
that is true. Anyway,
I honestly
before
kinda
we
like
before we
FE7
do
having
Engage,
its own-
because Engage probably gets the most content right now. My take on FE3 is that
I've not played.
I will not even put it above 7. It'll go
It's
right
above
there.
FE7. Come on, get real.
Replay book 2 and tell me that again with a straight fucking face.
I
Yeah.
feel
Okay,
like
you
most
know what?
people
You know
I
what?
hear like
You know what?
book
You know what?
more
You
than
know,
book
you know what?
one,
I'm gonna
but
actually.
I don't know.
I'm gonna just because I said that out loud and listened to my own words. Book 2 is worse than FE7. It has Book 1, which is better than FE7. So I'll give you above
I can see
FE7,
that.
but it's D
All right,
tier.
yeah, that's fair.
But
FE3 also just like it bothers me because it's like I can handle NES games being like it makes sense. FE3 just from the like 20 seconds I basically played of it, like just chapter 1, it feels so much worse than Thracia and FE4.
I mean,
Like,
it is. But like when you go from FE1 and 2 to FE3, you're like, holy shit, this is God's gift to Earth. Like that.
I mean, I came around. I used to be a notorious FE6 hater, if you knew me. But like, I really liked it a lot more after I came off of playing FE5 immediately before it, and I really appreciated its differences instead of just thinking it was bad FE7.
I'm scared where we're gonna end up now because it's like we only have Engage left, and I do not know where you guys are gonna put this. I know
I
where
don't
I'm
really
gonna
know.
put it. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I'm looking
I
at
know where
this
I'm gonna
list
put it.
right now. I have one
know
spot for it, and
I think
who wants
I'm
to go
leaning A
first?
tier.
Yeah, I'm saying bottom of A.
Oh,
Well,
we
we-
did it.
Wow. Oh my God, we agreed for once. Holy shit.
It's kind
No
of just
argument?
like less. It's like less good conquest. That's
I
still
agree.
really good.
It's like everything that's fun about Conquest, but just less.
It's worse conquest.
I really like emblem rings, but they kind of just are like the rich get richer syndrome, which is like sad.
It's like emblem rings are cool,
My-
but it's just like skills are just better.
My favorite
mean-
part of
The
Engage debates was always the
Engage-
fact that right when Engage came out, you couldn't fucking walk 5 feet without finding someone saying, "This unit is actually good. All you have to do is give them Lin."
That's so funny. Anna fans, they're built different.
Anyway, I
So
got wow. That's just crazy that we like engage. I mean,
Oh my god,
like
that's really funny.
yeah, no, it's just bottom of A. Like that's where I just have it. Like I have a top of A, I guess, on my own list, but that's just because like my A tier is like it's
weird.
Shadow
Engage is a
Dragon,
weird
it's
game.
Shadow
I like
Dragon,
it a lot, but
Path of Radiance, and Thracia, and I think Engage is better than all of those. Maybe not
Like,
Shadow
I-
Dragon. That depends.
HP bars on like just generic bosses is one of the best things the series has ever done. But it's very specific to Engage because
I-
you can just bumruck the fush out of bosses.
I agree. I really enjoy bosses in Engage. Like they're really well handled, but
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of the maps also feel like they like, especially the late game maps, start blending together and definitely aren't
Yeah,
as inspired
especially
as
after you get
Conquest.
like Micaiah back, it kind of is not great. I like the late game paralog maps at least.
Oh, the parallel
well-
maps are. I don't know. They're like gimmicky, but they're
Mostly
fun
good.
gimmicky. They're-
I mean, except for the fucking
When you
S
figure-
support pattern.
when you figure out how they work, like how the boss AI works, they become way more fun. Like you look at Leaf's map and you're like, oh my god, this is the one of the worst maps in Thracia, and I have
Oh,
to do it
it's so
again.
bad.
But then you figure out, oh wait, I could just shoot Leaf with Lin and make this map way faster and more engaging than it is in Thracia.
I audibly laughed out loud when I saw Sigurd's reinforcements pop out. That is such fucking. good
Sigurd's
attention to
reinforcement popping out and then him running in front of all of them in a defeat boss map anyway is the funniest thing ever. Why does
Yeah.
he do
They-
that? What was his plan?
I mean, it's very Sigurd.
It is very
Um,
Sigurd. It's in character.
I
you're
also
right.
really liked Erica's paralog being the FE game, the end game lion map upside down, and it has the same fucking chest items as that map. It's a second steel instead of promotion master seal and an angelic robe.
I like Ike's map a lot just because of the fact that he just like breaks the house like halfway through the map.
I've
Like
seen some people get rage at that. That's fucking awesome.
I think it's fucking hilarious. I think a lot of I think a
Especially when he's
lot of
that
engage
close,
maps are just
that
like
close.
so funny. They're so
I
funny.
think Engage's only issues is that after you get like Micaiah and have all the back, they're like, all right, whatever, we're done.
Also, the DLC maps all suck ass. Like they all.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
all
it is
terrible.
impressive.
Oh, except Veronica, which does a rev gimmick, but well somehow. How did that happen? Like it's
I've
a,
never
know
done the
the-
Veronica map.
the Veronica
the
map is
Soren map,
it's a rev
Doesn't
map,
it
but
like
it's good.
turn off staff animations for you by default to how like it's
Which
designed?
one? Which one?
Soren map.
No, that's not the Soren map. That's the like third or fourth map of the Fel Xenolog.
Oh, is that one? But yeah,
It turns
Oh,
off all of the supporting animations by default
That's really funny.
because of the fact that that's the fuck off FE4 map with 3 factions and a billion enemies that have 0 in every stat.
yeah,
Uh,
Well, 0 in every defensive stat.
but yeah, it's funny how like everyone like the 3DS games, like yeah, they all have their problems, but like the diehard fans of Awakening fucking love its DLC. Diehard fans of Fate love its DLC. Diehard fans of SOV love its DLC.
SOV DLC is the
Chaos
best in the
fans-
series. SOV DLC isn't the best in the series.
And
Absolutely.
then like Three Houses fans, like not everyone's sold on like Cinder Shadows as a plot, but they usually really like the characters. For the
Oh,
most
the
part.
characters are the best characters in the game. Probably.
I do not like Yuri.
Oh, okay. You know what? Video ends here. Like and subscribe. I'm done. I need to go to sleep.
Lesbians are cool.